Hi folks, well we got a horse here, the old Spotted Fever, that he's been, I'll use the word traumatized. He's been abused a lot. And our friend Gabby, it's her horse and I'm helping her, and it's going to be a long run. But we all have stories. Everybody can tell you a story about a horse that is abused. Now I will refuse to use the word rescue because I didn't rescue him. He didn't fall through the ice and he wasn't going on a canter truck, none of that. He's just a horse that had been really pitifully started and afraid of everything. So I'm working on his fear level, and the way I get it done is to take small increments and take him through the tunnel. In other words, face your fears and get over it. That's what we're doing. Just a little update. I know everybody gets upset because I tell them what we've already done. Well, I can't help it if the film crew wasn't there. You couldn't catch him. I couldn't catch him. Gabby, the owner, she gets along with him pretty good, but I didn't want to ride him because I knew it was just a matter of time she'd be in the hospital because he was so flighty. So she agreed to get him gentle. Anyway, I just now caught him, and the first time I saw him, he ran himself into a sweat just getting him caught. So he's been roped, and he's had prior, 3 or 4 sessions with me, I think. And I've been hanging him from a ring so he can walk in a circle to cross over behind. He gets hung just about every day. And what he was doing was walking the walls on the fence because he's by himself. And I got him by himself on purpose to get him weaned. Because a lot of horses like him get all their confidence in hanging with the other horses. And he doesn't get to do that anymore. He's not a colt. So I worked him with a flag yesterday. And got to where I could rub it on his rump right here in this corral. And now Deb's here to be able to do some video, and so we're just going to find out where he's at. So this is where I was, right here. I've got hobbles with me, but I'm gonna offer him the best deal first. Now the way I work with horses is I'm bringing him back up here to the round pen and putting him in the exact same place he was yesterday. And then we'll start. You can already watch his head and his breathing, and it's changing. Okay, mine isn't. I'm thinking about how long it's going to take me to drive to Vernal, Utah. And that's what I'm doing. So now, here's the horse. Here's the flag. I'll turn where you can see it. Here's the flag. And you can see the head, see the height of the skull and the ear. So there's a perfect example of people talk about he's licking and chewing. Well, hell, my grandpa licked and chewed and drooled down his chin. It didn't mean he accepted it and everything was fine. That's nerves. So I've got a short lead on him because I want to be able to snatch his head if he starts to cow kick me. This is all left eye. Here's the left eye. You see the ear. Now what I want to watch is to see that left ear flicked forward. Something's going to happen. His right eye's looking around a little bit. I'll show you what I mean. Now watch. See how his eye's moving? The tip of his ear is his pupil, so his eye is moving around, but he's still looking back there, anticipating what's going to happen. So this is as far as I got yesterday. That was with his head tied to his tail, and he was going in circles doing the whirling dervish. And so we've gained on him. Now I'm able to let him have a little slack. I'm in front of his eye to keep him from going forward. Now watch his left hind foot. That's why you have to pay attention. He will kick. Well, it's a good example of telling you the story about Mr. Dorrance and how Mr. Dorrance said the horse is always right. And it was a hard sentence for me to figure out. But what it means is this horse is kicking because he thinks he needs to kick this flag to get away from him. He's not good about it being around him. So in his mind, he's doing the right thing. So if he cow kicked, the owner might think, well, man, he's a mean horse. Well, no, he's just doing what he thinks he needs to. So I know where my parameters are. He told me already. All right, anything below the shoulder and the front of the back. Now watch when I go down his leg. You get down there towards the feet, and he will slap you on top of the head, I think. He's not liking this. So now the flag's not there. So I tell him, left brain, right brain. You're going to be fine, don't worry about it. So now I'm going to the other side of the horse. This is the right side. Whole different place. See how high the skull is? He's so hard you couldn't drive a nail through his hide. If I went back there with holding the flag in my hand, he'd kick the flag out of my hand. I know he would. But what, believe it or not, he's hanging in there. Because yesterday he was going 40 miles an hour in circles. You see his right hind is cocked. He's prepared. So there you go. You just have to take my word for it that yesterday he had his head tied to his tail and he was walking in circles, okay? Well, he went around about 50 times and then he stood still and I rubbed his butt with the flag. So we brought him back to the exact same place his head was tied to his tail. And I'm not going to tie his head to his tail just to show you because he just now made it standing here. So what I am going to do, because of what you just saw, I'm just going to lead him around with the flag. And you got to know this is not normal. In other words, a normal horse, it takes about minutes and you get him okay about a flag. Well, he's not okay about anything in your hand, which gives you kind of a clue why. So that's where we're at. So now I've got the movement. And I guess the moral of today's story is that just because their mouth's moving doesn't mean that they're right in the head. Hell, look at me, my mouth's always moving. And you understand that if you want to fix a horse that's been really, truly traumatized, then you better be in for the long haul because it takes a long time. Well, that's all we got is time. So there you go.
Now his name isn't really Spotted Fever.
What is it?
Homer.
Homer? Well, folks, I'm sorry. This is Homer. His last name is Pigeon. Okay, Gabby, come in and catch him. Now, I do this on purpose because this isn't my horse. All right, there's a trust level that Gabby has that I don't have.
He's doing pretty good, though.
Well, sure he is. If the horse will lay down and do that. But the point is, what I'm trying to tell you is that, Temple Grandin, come on, just come in like you own it.
He's trying to spare our audio. Yeah, that's good.
Temple Grandin made a comment one time, and I'm just going to tell you what she said, because Temple's pretty smart. She said that the wild horse program, when they were running the horses, all the guys, the people that were trapping them were all wearing cowboy hats. And so I can go in and touch this horse and pet it, and then some guy shows up in a cowboy hat. They don't like it. Well, Gabby's got a hat on, so we're going to test the theory and see how this works out if she can catch her horse.
Can you do this thing?
He likes this hat more than my other hat, though. He hates my other hat.
Yeah?
What's your other hat?
It's just a straw hat, but I came up to one day in the round pen, and the wind blew it off my head and it hit him in the face. And lightly, it's a light hat.
Yeah.
But ever since then, he hates that hat.
So now you know why he's traumatized.
Oh,
That's right.
It's all her
fine
fault.
Before the hat came. Pony.
Now you notice she talks to horses. I've told her not to. She does anyway, and I don't care. That's just the way she is. Now if he sells out... So anyway, we're all just borderline giddy. We're gaining so much here, but... I guess the deal is that if you're going to do this, you got to be in for the long haul. And I know our videos are anticlimactic, but that's kind of the way we want them to be. Now, Gabby's not allowed to lead this horse and allow its eye to go past her shoulder because she is the owner and she's going to end up riding him. And so she's starting on the ground with some kind of respect from that horse. So I'll keep the heathens out of her way while she gets the horse out of here. Yeah, he's going back, and you're going to hang him. And I want to be there to see it. I'm going to see, we need the perfect, correct length of hanging that horse.
Okay, you're going to have to show me.
No kidding.
I'm going to follow you guys down there and do the hanging thing. Just to follow up on this day. You need to close the corral?
Okay.
You work all the way down and stayed behind you?
Yeah, it was good.
Good deal.
He was good.
Now, stand here and hold him for a second. Now, folks, I want to show you something on the ground here if the Deb will back up. You see this dirt right here? All right, the day before he came here, that wasn't there. So what he does is he walks back and forth to the feeder and up and down this fence line because the other horses are down there. Well, 2 days ago, it looked like this. Because he makes an actual figure 8. So it was clean. Well, you'll notice there's manure busted up here, and here's the pivot turn, the hole he dug. And what I'm getting at is that he's not walking as much as he was. I can tell by the tracks here. So that means we're gaining. Okay? The reason I hang horses is because he's going to have to get out of his mind he doesn't need to do this. I'll let him walk in a circle here, and he'll cross his legs every time he goes in a circle. And he can't come over here and keep staring at those other horses. He can hear them and smell them, but he can't. So I'm going to tie the knot for the perfect height
That's the gate or no?
to hang a horse. Now obviously you know this is a swivel. Alright. When I hang a horse, it doesn't mean you hang them around the throat latch and they die. It just means you simply tie them up with a bowline, which of course we all know. And the horse's head, if he puts it down, if he put his head down, he couldn't get below his knee. And that way, if he paws, he's not going to hook his leg over it. But he's got enough slack where he can relax his head and stand here and go to sleep. So for me, that's the perfect height of the rope. That's how it works. Okay? Now you know a bowline, right? Yeah. So you see how much, you just know that his skull won't go below his knee, right? That's it. So anyway, that's where we're at on this horse, and we'll just keep you informed. It's not hard to tell which one he is.
Oh.
I will tell you that those main spots were up here when we started him. Now they're all the way back here, so he can run. Now he'll stand there for 4 hours minimum. It's in the shade, so everybody that wants to call some association, don't bother calling. He's in the shade. We'll come back in 4 hours and turn him loose, and he'll be fine.